Should you purchase the EXN Torque or high speed, or should you purchase the Inmotion V12? I have been receiving a lot of messages asking me this question, even if I think that the wheels are completely different. But what you'll find different between these two wheels? If you want to know everything about it, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love EUCs, PVs and everything that have an E of electricity, this is the place for you. And today we are going to talk a little bit more about the EXN Torque that I've been using in my country, in my city, and welcome to this beautiful place that you have here. And how it's been to ride with this one here in Portugal, and how is to ride in the UK with the EXN, and how is to ride in the UK my Inmotion V12, what I like about one and what I like about the other. I'll let you know in a second. Here I have the EXN Torque. I have already reviewed also the EXN High Speed. If you don't have seen that video, definitely check the other video that I've done. And obviously, I also have already reviewed the EXN Torque, so also check that video if you are between buying one of these two wheels. Obviously, my main wheel in the UK is the Inmotion V12 that you all know that for me is the best wheel that you have on the market. But many persons ask me, should I choose the Inmotion V12 or should I purchase the Begode EXN Torque or High Speed? And I believe that this question happened because many of you guys want a lot of battery. And obviously when you jump to the Inmotion V12, you don't have so much battery. So here you have 2,700 watt hours, and if you go to the Inmotion V12 you have 1,700 watt hours. But I have already said previously that the battery management on the Inmotion V12, in my opinion, it's really interesting. I cover that on the video that I compare the Gotway MSP with the Inmotion V12. Here you have 1,800 watt hours, here you have 1,700 watt hours. But I have to say to you guys that I think that the battery management that you have on this wheel better than on this one. Also, if you want to check a little bit more about that, feel free to do it. But I think that the battery management on the V12, it's really good. When you jump to something like the EXN Torque or High Speed, these wheels are, it seems that is nothing when you compare and you look to the Inmotion V12 that is just 29 kilos and this one is 34 kilos, you think it's just 4 kilos more. But it makes a lot of difference because first of all, when we look to the shape of this wheel, is so much more bulky than when you go to the Inmotion V12, and that brings uncomfort, okay? So when you are, and I've been riding with the Inmotion V12 so much that when I jump to the Gotway or Begode EXN, I really felt that was uncomfortable between my legs because I was used to a wheel that is much more compact. You have more wind hitting this wheel and makes it that it's harder to just starting to accelerate because it feels that the wind is dragging you behind, if it makes sense what I'm saying. When we talk about the handle on the V12, it's so superior than any handles that you have on the market. At this point, the best handle outside of Inmotion is the handle that you'll find on the Kingsong 16X, but even that is a bit flimsy, and sometimes after a while the contacts on that handle starts to don't work the best and you lose the balance. It happens to me with the 16X. Another thing that I really like about this one, that obviously with the stock tire you don't have with the V12, is the amount of stability that I have and traction to this type of floor. So obviously if you go to the V12, is a wheel that is much more nimble. And another thing that you have that obviously the V12 will be better in this type of terrains than the EXN is the clearance that you have with the floor. It's so easy to just unscrew those screws and screw them back to just change the heights of your pedals, and you can change up to 2 centimeters higher. I really like the higher position. It gives you a sensation like a Kingsong 16X. This one is much closer to the floor. And I also have covered on the review that I've done about the EXN Torque, this wheel, at least, so if you choose the Torque version, have a lot of pedal dipping, and that is not going to be the most pleasant sensation when you are on this type of terrains, because if you have some stones that they are making your floor closer to the pedals, you have more risks to hit them when you are just curving because your pedals, they are going to dip on the front. One of the big advantages that you have there is obviously this wheel can in a certain way becomes more comfortable than when you jump to the V12. But the V12 is 100 times more customizable than when you go here. Since I've been using Inmotion for so long, I completely forgot how hard is to calibrate a Begode wheel. So here you just can calibrate just grabbing and just trying to move the wheel front and back to try to get the perfect angle that you have with the wheel. On Inmotion, I just go on the app, I put there that I want -2 degrees on the front or on the back, and in that way the pedals, they are going to adjust where I want. And if you want massive optimization of the experience that you have, definitely check the best settings on the Inmotion V12, how I explain how to make it more comfortable and how to ride it better, because many guys say that the V12 doesn't have the best brakes in the world. When we talk about pads, I will definitely recommend you to use power pads in any of these two wheels, even if you go to the Inmotion V12 or if you go to the EXN Torque or High Speed, because these wheels are quite heavy. The Inmotion V12 29 kilos, here 33 kilos. It seems that it's nothing, like I said before, but it's a massive difference between having a wheel that is very nimble and very easy to control in the city and a wheel that is much more stable like this one. And obviously if you change the tire, it makes also a lot of difference, because the High Speed that I was using didn't have this tire and it was very, very nimble and very, very aggressive. Overall, I also really like the EXN Torque and High Speed, but if I put side by side with the Inmotion V12, I will definitely say that the Inmotion V12 is a much better wheel than the EXN Torque or High Speed. But if you want to do above 100 with a wheel, the Inmotion will not be the wheel for you. If you ride in the rain, the V12 is much better than this one. If you ride during the night, the V12 is much better than this one. It's much more visible with all those LEDs, and the front light is much, much better. If you want just to go inside the shoppings and walk with the wheel next to you, it's much, much better. The comparison between this handle, that obviously in this one is broken, but the handle on the V12 is one of the best. My favorite handle is the one that you'll find on the Inmotion V11. And also, if you are curious, I have already covered the Inmotion V11 multiple times on this channel. When we talk about the position of the pedals, I prefer on the V12 because you can change it. And when we talk also about customization, it's not even comparable. And I think that I have to say that at this moment on the market, all brands like Begode, like Kingsong, etc., they will suffer a lot to basically meet the expectations that our market is getting with wheels coming out like the Inmotion V12. And if Inmotion decided to put out a wheel like a V13 that is hybrid, that you can have a wheel for the week, and after when it comes the weekend, you can do much more miles. I have to say to you guys that I think all the brands will have big problems to fight back, because Inmotion is far the best brand when we talk about build construction. And also, if you think about it, innovation that they've done on the V12 with this MOSFET on the sides, that you don't need a fan. And when we talk about fan on this one, is crazy. The amount of sound that comes out of this fan when I come here on the mountains, it's so loud. So have that in mind if you try and if you want to decide to buy one. And obviously if you go up the hill, the V12 will manage better heat than this one, because this one, it will not cool down as well as the V12. If you have any other questions about these two amazing wheels, or if you want me to do other comparisons, feel free to leave in the comments below. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And I hope to see you in Portugal, in England, whatever it is, but always with a smile on your face. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.